Hello VC, I'm back again with yet another visual extravaganza of oral vinyl delights. Um, yeah, back again with another edition of my 12 by 12. For those people who haven't seen one of these, and this is the first one they're catching, I do believe this is video number 4 in this particular series. I have a fairly sizable collection of 12-inch singles, mainly from sort of late 80s running through to the 90s, or mid 80s anyway. Um, and I thought, oh, I'd quite like to show these. So rather than just going through A's and B's and C's, what I've done was I listed all the 12-inch singles I have, which is approximately 350 odd. Put them on a big list and numbered them, and then got a random number generator. Well, what passes for random number generator on the net, and batched them up in groups of 12. And so they're as random as I can make it, selections from my 12-inch collection. So here we go with selection number 4, and we start off with we're going to start off with some pop, I think. Yes, from when was this? 1985, I think. This is King, Won't You Hold My Hand Now. Was this 85? 85, I got it right. Now, most people will know King from their only big hit, which was Love and Pride. I think this was it was off the same album, which is Bittersweet, I think. This is called Won't You Hold My Hand Now, and this is a youth mix. He turns up all over the place, youth, remixing a lot of these things. He was one of those go-to producers to churn out a 12-inch mix for various people. I mean, I really like this mix of it. I really liked it, and I still like it. In fact, I prefer it to the normal version. There's a lot more. He uses the guitar in quite an interesting way in this, and he kind of dances it up a bit. So it's definitely prefer that. I mean, these are really naff photos from the back. I mean, just ultra 80s. I mean, you've got the gothy one, and you've got I think he was a drummer, and you've got the gormless looking one. Anyway, so the band themselves, completely forgettable to be honest, but really like this. On the B side, you've got a track called Endlessly, which is okay. I played this one the other day, and I've completely forgotten what Endlessly's like already. And then you got a thing called Fish Reprise Live, and that's okay. So yeah, no real reason for having this unless you like the mix of the A side. More pop here. Now this is a fabulous remix. This is Communards, Don't Leave Me This Way. Now that massive #1 in England. I don't know how it sold elsewhere, but massive #1. This is the Son of Gotham City mix. Now, what's interesting about this one, it's a 33 RPM 12-inch single. Now, the reason for that is because the A side is 13 and a half minutes long, I think it is. And it's a great dance mix. It goes all over the shop, as you can imagine, from a mix that long. It's not just repetitive. It's a really good mix. And then on the B side, you've got a song called Sanctified, which is more straight ahead poppy. It kind of leads in with a bit of Don't Leave Me This Way, just to join the two sides together. But the main reason is the mix of Don't Leave Me This Way. And I have a real special spot in my heart for Don't Leave Me This Way. I absolutely love the song, really love it. I know it's a cover of an original, but I just love that version of it. Right, now, okay, next up, we've got another glorious extended single. This is Depeche Mode. It's called A Heart Extended. This is one of them. I loved this single. It's off, oh goodness me, wait, that was 85, so it's called A Heart's On, is it? No, it's not Black Celebration. I can't remember the parent album. Anyway, it's a great single. And then on the B-side, you've got Fly on the Windscreen, which is also a terrific long mix of it. I think they're both 7.5 minutes long, I think. Absolutely fabulous. It doesn't, unlike a lot of 12-inch remixes that are around at the time, it doesn't overextend the song. The song can take it, which is a common factor of a lot of these remixes. These ones, it seems have got a bash that where the remixes all work, even though they're extended way past their original point, and I've really enjoyed listening to them. So anyway, so there's that one. Now, shows how random a random number generator is, because randomly it came up with another Depeche Mode. Now this one's Personal Jesus, which has got one of the great, it's got a fantastic riff on this. Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus has just got a brilliant riff, and it is a brilliant song. I mean, excuse me. I mean, it's that good that Johnny Cash covered it. I mean, when you got it being covered by the man himself, you can't go wrong, really. So this is a limited edition remix 12-inch. This has got the pump mix of Personal Jesus, which was mixed by Francis Kevorkian. It's got the Telephone Stomp mix, which I think was Youth. No, Daniel Miller. And then the Hazchem mix of Dangerous, which I think was a Youth, but I might be wrong on that one. But really good remixes of the tracks here. I personally prefer the pump mix. I think that works slightly better than the Telephone Stomp mix. But I used to listen to this again. Another one of the biggest bands of the 80s was The Cure, and I've got this one. Now this is their song Lullaby, or the single was Lullaby, which came out in 80, I do believe it was 80, it might even be 89, 87, no it wasn't 8, it was after that, I think it was 89. Yes, it says on the label 89. So there we go. This was their biggest hit in the UK, reached a heady height of number 5, I think. There's that. It's actually got a really nice label on this. Yeah, it's the same on both sides basically. There we go. I actually really like that. I like the spidery writing that they used as a font at the time. This ups the creepiness of this song. Really, the remix, or the extended version, whatever you want to call it, just suits it down to the ground. I mean, the song is pretty creepy anyway. It's all about the Spider-Man, and I think it's basically the Spider-Man is just a catch-all term for the boogeyman, for any personal demon you might have. He creeps on you in the night and creeps up you when you're not expecting. But it's a really creepy song, and for that to be top 5 at the time, I mean, how brilliant were the charts back then? How fantastic! So there we go, Lullaby. The B-sides are not bad actually, considering they're just B-sides. They got Babble and Out of Mind. Not anything mind-blowing, but they're good B-sides. They're more than just make weights. Well worth a listen. Right, back into more straightforward kind of indie from 1991. This is Birdland, and this is Everybody Needs Somebody. This was their final single, I think. Well, it's the last one I bought. They kind of fizzled out after this. After the release of the album, they didn't really go anywhere. It all just kind of fizzled out. And to be honest, they'd lost it by this point. I mean, Everybody Needs Somebody is a good pop song. It's a good indie pop song, but it's nothing special. It was a laugh. It made number 44, heady heights of number 44. The album came out about 2 weeks after this. I have special memories of this. This came with a tour flyer, and I actually went to see them at Liverpool Uni there, and then my mate blagged us onto the guest list for the following night in Manchester, so we drove over to Manchester because I was living in Liverpool at the time, and got free show, which was stupendous. Really enjoyed that. Don't Hang On is the second side. This is a four-track EP really, rather than an extended 12-inch. Got Don't Hang On, which is okay. Then you've got something which is like nothing else I ever recorded. It's Untitled, is what it's called, which is bloody lazy. But it's Sid the singer singing over violins, piano, quite doomy. Whether it was just an experiment they made and this was the final single of the run and they just whacked it on there, or whether it was a new direction they were potentially going in. It was really interesting. It was a really good song. I really rated it. And then you've got an acoustic version of Shoot You Down, which is a track off the album, which is probably one of the better songs on the album. But yeah, on Lazy Records, decent enough 12-inch. There we go. Bit of fun next. Got Aerosmith, The Other Side. This one falls into more like a extended remix that doesn't really add much to the song. It's nice enough. It's called the Extended Club Mix, but to be honest, I wouldn't have thought any club would have played it, to be honest. Any rock club I went to usually played, what was it off? Well, they played Dude, obviously. They played Ragdoll a lot. They didn't play this. Oh, Love in an Elevator. That didn't get played either. Anyway, so you've got the extended club mix, which is it's okay. Then you've got them doing a live version of Theme from Wayne's World, which is fun. That is fun. It's well worth getting this. If you see it for dead cheap, like 50p, get it for the version of Wayne's World theme. That's great. Then you got the Matt Dyke Honky Tonk version, which basically just adds cowbells. I mean, it doesn't do anything. And then you got an album track called My Girl, which is a good track. It's probably better than The Other Side, to be honest. And why that wasn't the single, I don't know. But anyway, so there we go. The Other Side. Oh, there's just a different colour on the back. Classic early 80s single here. This is I think one of the best singles from the first half of the decade. This is Temptation by Heaven 17. This is essentially a duet between Glenn Gregory, who's the main vocalist with Heaven 17, and Carol Kenyon. I don't know whether she made many records by herself. I don't know. I don't even know if she appeared on anything else. I'm really not sure. But this is the special dance mixes 12-inch. To be honest, I can't hear much difference in this version of Temptation to the original version. I think it's edited slightly differently. There's some bits that have been taken out, the slower bits. There's some slower bits in Temptation. They've been taken out, just so I presume it just runs better as a dance track. But the mixes of Who'll Stop the Rain and We Live So Fast, all three of the songs originally from the Luxury Gap, they are really different. Who'll Stop the Rain, they've really upped the funk quotient on it. It's got slap bass on it, you got all kinds of stuff on it. It's really quite funky actually. And then We Live So Fast, I mean, blimey, what a fast set of beats on there. I mean, it must have been one of the fastest dance singles, you know, up until things went absolutely loopy when techno came out. It is fast. So many beats on it. It's unbelievable. Terrific 12-inch though. Terrific 12-inch. Now, the last 4 of these, some of my favourite songs from the sort of the early 90s? Late 80s, early 90s. Some of my favourite songs here. Right, this one is Bird Brain by Buffalo Tom. They were they came from the States. Now, they were kind of on the periphery of the grunge thing, but they weren't really grunge. They were more like sort of the Husker Du, not quite as good as Husker Du. Kind of trying to think of another band that they remind me of. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they were more the alt rock rather than grunge, to be honest. But Birdbrain is just a cracker of a song, absolute cracker. Um, Top notch song. Just a brilliant riff. It just absolutely swings. To be honest, it's brilliant. Um, did I come from Chicago? Maybe wrong in that. I don't know. Then you've got a couple of acoustic songs which are co-produced with Jay Massis from Dinosaur Jr. They've got Reason Why, which is pleasant enough, and then Heaven, which is a Psychedelic Furs cover, which done as an acoustic song is really, really lovely, actually. Really like that. Think Richard Butler has a better, more distinctive voice than Bill Yanovitz, who's the lead singer of Buffalo Tom. So maybe it would be nice to hear an acoustic version by the Furs, but good version and a brilliant A-side. One of my favourite bands, and I loved them. I know there was so much hype behind this band when they came out. So much. I remember, you know, massive covers, music press covers before they were even signed. The best unsigned band in the UK and all that. But they lived up to the hype, and it's Suede. I wholesale jumped for Suede. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. I bought their first single when it came out. I've only got 2 of their 12 inches. The rest I've got on CD single. But I've got the Drowners, and this is the other one, Animal Nitrate, which was their first top 10 hit. Just brilliant. I think I remember I think they played this at the Brit Awards in 1993? 1994. I think this came out the early part of 94, I think. I don't think there's a date on this. Well, it's got 93 on here, but I'm sure it was 94. I don't know, I can't remember. My mind may be playing tricks on me. Maybe it was a 93. Oh no, it'd be 93, won't it? Because the album came out in 93. Yeah. I mean, anybody who's been into indie music knows Animal Nitrate, to be honest. I mean, do I really need to explain this one? Tale of despair and angst, possibly about child abuse, possibly about but it's basically being abuse. Somebody's getting abused in this song. Depression. Although apparently Brett Anderson said it was about drugs. Okay, whatever you think, Brett. The B-sides, really terrific. Now, the one thing I loved about Suede was their B-sides were so good. They always took their time on B-sides. And on here you've got a song called Painted People. It's a blooming Bernard Butler wig out. It is brilliant. It's phased guitar. It's brilliant. Absolutely love it. It was a revelation when I heard that again. I mean, to say I've got their B-sides collection, some of their B-side collections, even though I had everything on CD. I think because I was living in Japan, so I got a B-sides collection because all my youth singles were here. But it was a revelation hearing that again. Absolutely fantastic. And then you've got a piano ballad, The Big Time, which is a top song as well. Not as good as Painted People blew my socks off when I heard this again. Brilliant. Suede. Now, one of the all-time big metal songs, probably the biggest thrash song, possibly biggest single thrash song ever, is this. It's Metallica 1. Blow Me Down. This is, I mean, yeah, I still listen to Metallica, especially the first 4 albums. Now, this was off on Justice for All. It was a lead single. Was it a lead single? No, it wasn't. Was that Harvester of Sorrow? Anyway, no, it wasn't the lead single, but it was the most successful single of and Justice for All. Made the UK top 20. Kind of made Metallica to be the big in the UK anyway. It was the first thing that really sold bucket loads. Absolute brilliant song about a soldier. I think the soldier who had basically his sight and his hearing and his speech and all 4 limbs taken from him during a war. based on a film. I've never actually seen the film. I don't know whether I really want to, but it's the subject's taken from the film. I'm sure somebody will tell me what the film's called. Amazing song, absolutely amazing, and it just builds and builds and builds. I mean, the start of it is just all acoustic guitar, kind of a flamenco-ish guitar, building up to absolute riff out. Some incredible drumming. I mean, the kick drum. I mean, I'm sure James will be able to tell you much more than I can, but I think it's terrific drumming on there. Probably badly technical, I don't know, I don't care, it sounds amazing. And then on the B-side you've got a couple of live tracks. You've got For Whom the Bell Tolls and Welcome Home Sanitarium, one from Ride the Lightning, one from Master of the Puppets, and they're good live versions, and that's about all I can say about the B-sides, but the A-side is amazing. And then we come to number 12, and one of the well, for me it's one of the greatest 12 inches of all time, with one of the greatest songs, or one of the greatest pieces of guitar music for me, and that is My Bloody Valentine, and this is the Glider repeat. Now I could probably warble on and on about this record for another 20 minutes, but I won't. But this was the first song to come from Lovelace that they released in '91. This came out in 1990. Amazingly, I think it's charted at about number 45. I thought, what? It is just amazing. Now, with initial copies of their previous album, Isn't Anything, it came with a free 7-inch, and one of those sides was a drum pattern, or drum sample, I'm not sure, with sort of My Bloody Valentine guitar effects laid over the top of it. And I think this comes from them experimenting further with that and then producing this absolutely amazing piece of music. It is dream pop to the nth degree, but overlaid there's just a rumble. It's like a rumble. It's over the top of it with these little synth-like processed guitar patterns on it. I mean, I've seen people, I've read up on this a bit more recently, and people were saying, oh, I like the synth bits. It's not everything was on guitars. It was, Kevin Shields is just a guitar genius. What he was doing with the guitar, there's not a lot of people, I mean, who've ever done that. I mean, maybe technically he's not the best guitarist, but he used his imagination and effects pedals to create this otherworldly, sublime music. And you got Belinda cooing over the top of it, and it is just amazing. Then you've got also on here, it is I mean, Soon itself is 7 minutes long, and there's not a second wasted. I mean, you put it on, and it seems like 2 minutes later it's finished, but it hasn't. It's been 7 minutes. Then you've got Glider, which is kind of the guitar effects without the drum off of Soon, without the beats or the vocals. So it's a very swoony, layered sound. And then you've got more straight, well, for Valentine's, straight ahead songs like Don't Ask Why and Off Your Face. More, I mean, totally sublime dream pop. True dream pop, not some of the crud they came out with like about 5 years ago that was just MOR dross. One of the great 12 inches, I would say, and love it. Valentine's. There'll be more Valentines to come in further editions of this. So there we go. 12 by 12, number 4, done and dusted. Hope you enjoyed that. Maybe there's some bands that you've never heard of. Maybe there's some bands you might make you want to go back and check out your own record collections. I hope so. But I've had a well listening to those over the last few days. And I'm off to go and listen to Glider again, because Soon is just one of the greatest songs ever. Right, so thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for any new subscribers. Always welcome to see people are willing to put themselves forward to listen to this twaddle. And I'll see you all again soon. Cheers, VC. Bye.